Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and this is a complete marriage of two wonderful things that I really enjoy. So if you've watched the channel, I have gotten all the Horrifieds on my channel, and I even ranked them up to this point, and then I found out there is Horrified Dungeons & Dragons. I've also gotten a lot of Dungeons & Dragons on my channel too. I am married to a role player, and so we do a lot of role playing, and so I'm just seeing this come together. So thematically, if you are a fan of Dungeons & Dragons and all the stuff that comes with it, and you want to play a challenging cooperative game that will just drop you right into that world, I think Horrified Dungeons & Dragons is perfect for you. It is so just playful. Look at the tag. Terror is in the eye of the beholder. There is a beholder in this game as one of the monsters that you can fight. And so this just has a ton of fun and flair, the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, because this new game has a new feature of a D20. So players are going to have a character. Let's take a look at all the stuff. I want you to know what's in the box, because I think that's the best way to get a feel for the game. There are 5 different characters to pick from. This is a 1 to 5 player game, so all 5 of these could be in action. You've got the Cleric, starting in Castle Waterdeep, the Rogue, starting in the Sword and the Sextant, the Wizard at Blackstaff Tower, the Bard at Yawning Portal Taproom, of course, and then you've got the Fighter, starting at the Hall of Heroes. Each of these characters has a particular color and a particular icon that goes with them in their player standee. And they are going to be navigating this huge map out here with these adjacent locations so that they can essentially accomplish the goal of defeating 2 monsters. Again, the game comes with 4, and the beginning game suggests to play with the Displacer Beast and the Beholder, and then for experienced players or multiple plays, after that, play with the Red Dragon, which has a multi-stage defeat win. Or essentially challenge to win. And then there's also the Mimic is the 4th one. And I've got some cool Mimic swag right here. It is a cool, awesome button, and it's like chomping out of its treasure chest. It's so fantastic. So there's lovely themed kind of swag and cool stuff that you can get that will really kind of soup up your Horrified Dungeons & Dragons experience. But these are going to be those characters, and then I wanted to show you close up really what's going on with that D20. So as a character, you've got your player pawn, but you will be getting, in this game, everything's been kind of slimmed down or trimmed down to make everything pretty streamlined, but this means every player is going to get 4 actions. In the corner of every player card, there's 4 actions. And as the rogue, the special action, and with every other player or character, is to roll the D20 if you'd like to do that for one of your 4 actions. If you roll a 1, this is the low of the lows, no effect. If you roll a 20, and anytime you roll a 20 on a player's turn, you get to draw a bonus card, which these cards are dynamite. Everyone knows in Horrified that these cards are really, really good. They're still really good here. But you also get like the best of your player character. In this case, it's take 3 items from the Horrified Haversack, gain a perk card. That reminds you to get that perk card when you roll a 20. So you're going to be kind of risking it if you'd like to roll for your turn, but that's part of this game, is to play a little risky, to play a little wild, to play a little fun. So just a quick rundown for players who are unfamiliar with the Horrified series. Again, this is a cooperative game where players will essentially take their hero phase of 4 actions. They can choose to move, guide, pick up, share, advance, defeat, the special action I just talked about, and reveal action. And you can play any number of perk cards and any player in this case. So you can play your perk on somebody else's player turn. But once that player is done, they then move to the monster phase. So it's every player takes their turn, does a monster phase, then it goes to the next player. So in the monster phase, you draw items from the haversack and place them on the board based on the card. Let's take a look at this card here. Oh, fantastic. So this is the card I drew, and it says you're going to draw 2 cards, or 2 items, place them out, Then you're going to resolve the event that happens in the center here. Ignore it if it has a color or symbol indicated that doesn't match any of the monsters in play. And then lastly, the monster is going to attack. These are the monsters that will attack, which might even be the same monster because that's the frenzied symbol. Then they move at this speed and they attack with that many dice. And so you'll see all those icons are listed right down here. And then once that has been resolved, then it moves on to the next player. And again, you are trying to defeat all of the monsters by accomplishing their defeat goals. And all 4 of the monsters have a different defeat goal. Now, you will lose as a team if you take too many hits, and this is going to be your tracker of hits, essentially meaning a player or a character or one of the townsfolk are KO'd. You move this 1 step forward, you move this 1 step forward, and so forth. And so if you ever get to the skull, that's going to be it. And if you ever run out of the deck of cards, which has all the monster activations, you also lose the game. So there is a timer built in to make this a really lovely 60-minute cooperative strategy game. You'll see I've already got some items put out here, and I've already got the lair tokens placed out. One thing that you're not seeing are the monsters, and so I really want to focus on them next and the way that they function, because that's what really makes every Horrified game pretty unique and interesting. So I'm going to take this board, and I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to kind of dump everything over here so that I can fold this guy up and look at the cool backside. I'm sorry, but it's always just so fun, the flair that they put into the game. So I have folded up the board and I am revealing now. Here are these monsters. Again, you want to play probably first with the Displacer Beast. This guy right here, cool little mini figure. And then you also want to play with the Beholder, and then there's that Beholder figure. The Mimic has this guy right here. He's popping out of that treasure chest, and then here's that big, bad red dragon. This is the frenzied symbol. So when you're not playing with, let's say, a character, let's have this guy. We're going to pop this guy over. What you actually see on the back of every single player or monster card is the monster setup that you do need to know about, because it's not in the game and it's not actually, it doesn't tell you to look on the back side of the card. So just look on the back side of the card and you're going to see that monster setup, and it talks about the lairs. It talks about what to do to get the Beholder set up, the Displacer Beast, the Mimic. And yes, as you see here, boy, that red dragon is a toughie. It's essentially bigger, more complex, and it takes more time. You also have a totally separate board that makes this a really, really unique experience. This has a random setup, and you essentially are doing a move 'em puzzle where you have these, little dots and stuff in here, and it's essentially moving everything around like in those kind of puzzle games you have on your phone. And then once you can get this orb out the exit, you can collect the orb. And that's one of your goals, is to collect the orb. And then you will move into this second board here, which is step 3 and step 4. Surround the lair and then defeat the red dragon. So the red dragon has some really, really cool features to them. I think the Displacer Beast really embodies that kind of luck and the die roll and the kind of press your luck that I think this D&D Horrified offers players. So if you're ready for some swings and some luck and some wild, fun things that happen when you do roleplay, the Displacer Beast has that. And same thing with the Beholder. I think that's why they want you to start with those, but they do have the most flair and the most fun. The Mimic and the Red Dragon are a little bit more predictable, but the Red Dragon is definitely more complex and dynamic. So with these, you're covering up particular abilities that the Beholder can do back to players, and they're all so awful. They're just the worst. And so your goal is to essentially damage the eye stalks and then blind its central anti-magic eye to defeat it. And all of these have these special powers that activate when you roll the dice on their turn and they roll that exclamation point. So definitely get to know what their power is. And in this here, you're essentially paying your items at level 1, 2, or 3 or more. And then you will roll the die, and if you have covered up that symbol with your die here, then essentially you will be successful. It's kind of wild. If the result's covered by an item, the displacer beast is defeated. If not, then you lose some of your progress and you have to essentially try again. So you want to cover a lot of spaces, but at some point you have to kind of press your luck and roll the die and hope that you've covered up enough of those numbers that you'll be successful. So it's about a percentage game. And then the last thing is the mimic. Essentially starts here outside of the board and will move throughout here. And every time it gets to a chompy chomp mouth, it's going to do its chompy chomp. So it says here, if it stops on it, draw an item from the bag. Items have one of 3 different colors on it. If all heroes have a matching color based on the one that was drawn, you discard those items and then the mimic appears on the board and you can move to step 2, defeating them. But if you don't, if players don't all have a blue or a yellow or a red, it continues moving around the board and it's going to never come out. And if it never comes out, it's never going to be defeated. So this has a real timing issue that I found to be really, really good. And honestly, when I played the second game with the Red Dragon and the Mimic, it was a longer game. It was a more intense game. It took us a long time to get through everything. And here, there's a little bit of a gamble and a little bit of an easier kind of access to get the monster defeated. But these were really fascinating. They were really fun creatures. And again, make sure you look on the back side of those monster cards to see how they set up. But boy, these the perk cards are always so fun. And you've got great theme again. This is Rainier Never Remember. Each player draws and places one item from the Horrified haversack. Gets more items out there. Maybe you're looking for a particular color or type or value. Skip the next monster phase from Durnan. Any number of heroes may be placed back at the tap room. When you're in the tap room, you are immune from the Red Dragon. They can't go up there. It's really, really helpful. So they can't nab you. And then Morden Kanan, move any hero, monster, or citizen up to 4 locations. This player gains the perk card if a citizen is in their safe location. It's one of the ways you can get those citizens where they need to go without essentially guiding them or without moving with them. Just a taste of those really, really cool cards and everything that's in this game. Tons of theme, tons of fun, and nice challenge. And the way they streamline the characters, I think, is really accessible for those kind of people interested in D&D, but maybe who aren't familiar with Horrified. If you are familiar with Horrified, this adds a new flair, and the new flair is the luck. It's the die roll, it's the D20. And I'll tell you one thing, my very first game that I played, I rolled my die and I never got more than a 3. I just would always roll a 1, 2, or 3. I say that's classic Kim, but I know there are times where I roll higher than that, but it does seem to be just what happens to me more often than my husband. So fortunately, we're on a cooperative team together, so when he rolls particularly well and I don't, you hope it averages out, which is why I think Horrified is such a strong game in general. The system, the cooperative nature of it, the timing of it, it's always a race to get things done before you lose too many citizens and or get KO'd yourself and or run out of the deck. So tons of fun, lovely theme. Check out Horrified. I've got the details in the description below where you can get it. And yeah, get your hands on it. Lots of fun, lots of luck. So enjoy. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye.